Hey there, it's Katie Jarvis with Managing the Mess. In this video, I'm going to talk about those silent expectations and assumptions about art teachers. Now, I started doing research for this by placing a poll over on my Instagram, and I got a lot of responses. I'm sensing that this is a bit of a hot topic. Now, I think this video is going to be helpful for you if you're someone that is a new art teacher or considering going into art education, because this is the stuff that nobody is talking about. Now, if you're someone that is experienced, I think this video is going to help you feel a little bit more seen and valued and supported, knowing you are not alone in this crazy career. One of the themes that I saw frequently in the responses that I got was that pressure as an art teacher to be the creative face of the school. So above and beyond just teaching art to the students, there's a lot of pressure to create signs and posters and murals and do face painting and make seasonal decor and do these things year after year. So these are extra tasks. They're valuable. They're creative. So it does kind of fit into our wheelhouse, but this is above and beyond what the average teacher is being asked to do. Now, something to consider when you're asked to do these extra things is many of those jobs would be done by a graphic designer. In the US, a graphic designer makes way more than the average teacher. I also learned at a recent art education conference, somebody mentioned that murals go for like $3,000 to $5,000 in a school. So being asked as the art teacher to do that for free might not exactly be fair. I know I was asked to do the job of a graphic designer just this school year. I was approached about designing a t-shirt, and there was a turnover time of needing it like 48 hours later. That was too tight of a timeline for me when all the things back to school were happening. I was trying to get my art room together. I was trying to get my home life together. I was trying to get my family organized so that we could get into that back to school season. And I know the level that I wanted to do that work to create those shirts, and that time that I just didn't have because I was creating back to school content for Managing the Mess. And my mind was just about ready to explode with every second of the day thinking about school. So adding that expectation of also designing a shirt, a little more than I could handle. Another unfortunate thing that art teachers have to deal with is people viewing art as not being a real subject, having it not be as important as math or science or reading at their school, not being seen even as being a real teacher. This could be with your students, this could be with the other staff members, this could be with parents when you're reaching out for help with behavior support. So there's always kind of this underlying need to kind of prove your value and show that your program is thriving and important. I often feel a lot of pressure to make sure our work is hanging up in the hallway so people just know what I do, because I feel like often art teachers aren't seen as real teachers and they're asked to do all these extra things because they think what we're doing is just fun and silly and it's not as important. Now, a personal story for me is I once taught in a very small district, especially compared to the one that I'm at now, and we were going to rewrite the curriculum for arts. We got to meet with the district curriculum director. And as we were kind of getting our stuff settled and sitting down, the curriculum director said to us, "Oh my goodness, it must be so nice that you guys get to teach something that you don't have to think about." I mean, just ouch. Ouch. So having to kind of crawl out of that hurdle and prove your program is important and that what you do is important is tough. I know for me, one of the big things that I have found over the years to focus on is that I am important to the kids, that what I do is important to the kids, and I try to block all the other stuff out. Another response that I heard very frequently from art teachers was these legacy projects. So maybe like doing a project every year with the fifth graders before they graduate, or having a school-wide art show, or doing the yearbook for your school. Once you do one of those things once, there's this silent expectation of you're going to do this until you retire, that every single year you're going to be doing it. Now, what's really tough about those things is those projects require a lot of time, usually outside of school, a lot of effort, and a lot of resources that you need to collect, organize, have ready to go. These projects often come with little to no recognition or compensation. So that makes it really tough that those things are added to our plates, and we have to figure out how to make those things work year after year. What I think is a real big challenge too is your life changes in the span of you being a teacher. You might start out as a single teacher that has all the time in the world to take on these projects. And you might end up with, 10 children of your own and lots of other responsibilities outside of school. So that's something to think about, that you take on these responsibilities very slowly if you're someone that is a new teacher, knowing that even if these are activities that you love to do, it kind of can be heavy that that's the expectation that you'll do those things forever. And there's a lot of guilt kind of giving those things up. And you do get a little bit of pushback often from your schools when you want to step away from leading some of those projects. This next one I think hits me the hardest, and that is the extra hours and the energy and the time that we put into this job that nobody sees. I think there's an expectation that our job is really easy and fun, and we finger paint and we color and we get to do some fun things. That is not wrong. But there's also things that people don't see, the countless hours of planning and prepping and organizing and just literally managing all of this mess, and the whole creative energy that you're always thinking and always focused on the school year. All the art shows and the yearbooks and those things that just are absolute time monsters that you probably put 100 hours into within a school year that probably goes unnoticed by most everyone. One of the Instagram reels that I made that really took off was one that I didn't even really spend a lot of time putting together. I just had a bunch of random footage of me kind of prepping and preparing, times when students weren't in the school, cutting clay, pouring paint, taking things in and out of the kiln. And I just kind of threw it together because I didn't really have anything to post. And it got 337,000 views. It continues to just spin on Instagram and really resonate with teachers because it's showing the behind the scenes stuff that nobody talks about. When you think of being an art teacher, you don't think about the school day ending and then that person is the last car in the parking lot. And that is often the case for many art teachers. So just know you're not alone. There's a lot of really hardworking art teachers out there, and we appreciate what you do for kids. A frequent topic on this channel is managing the supplies because it's such a big part of what we do. We've got all the messy things, and there's often an expectation that we will, stay after school to load and unload the kiln and cut paper and wash paintbrushes and do all the things that are needed to maintain these supplies. There's also a silent expectation that we're open to sharing our supplies with the entire school, as if we're a little bit of a craft store for everyone else to shop from for free. You need a couple popsicle sticks, you need some green paint for St. Patrick's Day, just send a kid down, even while I'm teaching, it's fine. That is something that happens to a lot of art teachers. People don't realize that we don't have just unlimited funds, that we don't have enough materials often to be sharing things with other classes. Many of us are working with a very, very small budget, and there's an expectation that we just make that work. Now, what is tough is you're judged on the end product of that artwork without people really considering that you had a budget of, $300 to make artwork with 800 kids for an entire school year. So a slippery slope is that teachers will often compensate with their own money, maybe buying a little bit of white paint when the school runs out, or buying an art supply that they wouldn't otherwise have with their own money. Another big thing that's a silent expectation about being a teacher is that teaching is going to become your lifestyle. A lot of people have really just embraced this, and you see it everywhere on social media these days. These teacher influencers, they always have these cute and new outfits all the time. I swear they're all drinking coffee. I don't drink coffee. I don't usually even consume caffeine, but that seems to be normal in every classroom in America. Also, being super happy and energetic seems to be a big deal. Having lots of themed things, especially for the holidays. And this whole expectation of buying things all the time for your classroom seems to be a new expectation. A lot of these influencers are getting things for free, so they're able to change the color scheme and the themes in their classrooms or their art rooms every single year, but that's not a normal expectation for everyone. Nor is it normal that every time you're out that you're thinking about things that you could buy and add to your classroom. There's a lot of pressure and things floating around in your head based upon what you see on social media, and that makes it really hard to set boundaries and prioritize your own well-being. I sure hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, make sure that you are subscribed and check out the other videos on this channel. I have over 200 videos about art room management to help make your job a little bit easier and help you feel a little bit less alone in this crazy career.